Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by my channel. This week I'm working with an image from Kate Crafts. This is a page from her A Bit Creepy collection. And some hibiscus dyed paper that I dyed. I was a little bit aggravated at first because this is the color I was looking for because I wanted to do some more of the witch journals, like the one that I had recently done. But, because that's all the paper I have left. But I got this color, which is very much a foggy, spooky blue. But I held on to it. I thought I'll do something with it. Got some cool markings. Got some grungy stuff. I thought, no, I'll use it for something. And then I saw this guy. And I thought, oh yes, these are going to be great. So I started working on this cover. And I'll link Kate's information below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, it'll be in the comments. But you see this texture on this page? I wanted to try to imitate that look. So I'm going to use some stencils and some of my hibiscus dyed paper. So the stencils that I'm using, I'm pretty sure came from either Dollar Tree or Walmart. They probably cost me between $1 and $3 for a set. $1 if it's from Dollar Tree, obviously. And some super heavy gesso that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $2.29, regular $11 by Liquitex. This stuff is really nice, you guys. I've never used it before. I got every jar they had, though, because I was painting on canvas. And I opened this jar to play with it just to see what it was like. So this stencil is an animal print stencil is what it is. But we're going to pretend like it's a rock wall stencil. Oh, and I don't have the normal tool you use for using stencils with texture pastes and things like that. I'm drawing a blank right now what it's called. But I did cakes for a while, and I have an icing knife for making cakes, which ended up working perfectly because why go buy another tool, right? I have used before plastic silverware from restaurants because we in America are so wasteful, and usually I have a whole drawer of plastic silverware that I've kept to throw in lunches. But didn't happen to have a little plastic throwaway knife, so using this. Like I said, this gesso is super nice to work with. It's actually the consistency of like shortening almost. It was a lot smoother than what I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit thicker than shortening. So I'm just going to speed this video up. I'm going to continue on and cover this whole page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over what I already stenciled with the opposite stencil. So where it's blocky, I'm going to use the curvy stencil, and where it's curvy, I'm going to use the more square blocky type stencil. And I'm just going to keep going, filled in that little gray strip with just some stuff off of my knife. Palette knife, that's what it's called. I don't have a palette knife, so I use what I have. So when my OCD stops kicking in and I quit doing all these little edges, I will lift this up to the camera and show you what it looks like when I get done. Did create quite a bit of texture, and I really liked how it came out. Yep, a little more on that corner, not enough on the knife, dip back in. Yep, gotta get that corner right. Why do we do this to ourselves? There we go. Lots of cool texture. And the good thing about this brand and this super heavy gesso is all that lifted texture will actually hold. I was very surprised at how it dried. So I'm going to let these dry overnight, and then I'll be back to show you what they look like. Okay, y'all. My pages are all dry. I have gloves on. I've been playing a little bit just to see which way I wanted to do this. I got some black ink. It's called Curate Color. It's called Curate Color. I got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby for 99 cents a bottle, and this is supposed to be, it doesn't want to focus. It's supposed to be black. But, you know, black is made up of a bunch of different colors, so this is what I got on my first try, which I liked. This one is wet right now. Like this one much better. So you can see there's ink running in between the texture, and this will take a while to dry. So all I'm using is this ink. This is an alcohol ink. And a little spray bottle with 91% alcohol in it. And I use the 91% because it evaporates faster than a regular alcohol, which I think is 71%. Okay, so here are my dried pages. I did 4 of these, guys. See all the texture? They came out really cool, actually. They're really flexy. But these have been drying for 2 days now. And I tried putting the ink, actually, this is my Pyrex dish, because everything comes off Pyrex. I tried putting the alcohol ink into the bottom of the dish and spraying it, and then dipping this. And I didn't get the cool, runny effect that goes into the texture and highlights the texture like I wanted. It just kind of all soaked in and became a light bluish purple. So instead, this is what I did, or what I liked anyway. Just going to, and I'm probably using way too much, but I'm okay with that. I bought this ink to play with it because it was 99 cents. And I use a lot of black, so why not, right? They had more on clearance. And I probably will go back and get some more now that I've played with it. Again, it's black like this, but when you start using it, you really gotta wet this to get it moving. When you start using it, the colors change. We turn my nozzle. There we go. There, it's starting to move. You see it? Starting to spread a little bit. Like I said, you really have to get it wet. Now, just keep in mind that when you get it this wet, your gesso is gonna get wet, and it's gonna get a little bit gummy. And if you touch it too much, there we go. if you touch it too much, it's going to start changing the texture. It's going to start flattening out all the texture that you put into that gesso. So you got to kind of be a little bit careful, and I'm going to flip this over. You can see how much ink has soaked through the back. And just keep turning it and wetting it till you get the look you want. I want the drippy, old rock face look, distressed rock face look. So I'm okay with this. This is cool. I will let these dry. And then I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of coffee staining. I'll probably dry these with a heat gun because I'm just too impatient. But again, be careful because of the gesso. You don't want to burn it. I don't mind it bubbling like gesso does sometimes, but I don't want to burn it. But this is cool. So I will do this page as well, and then let these guys dry. This one has dried a little bit. You can see how much it lightens up as compared to this one that I just did. In fact, I may end up coming back. I will, because I know me. I'll do a little bit more. Hear how sticky it is. But this ink does, it soaks into everything. So make sure that you don't get it on anything that you don't want it on, or you can't get it off of, because it's pretty strong. Yeah, I like that darker color better. It's moving a little bit more. And you can see how quick that alcohol ink that alcohol dried, because these already were drying and didn't want to move. Just want a little more drippy right there. Okay. Be back in a little while. Okay, they're dry. This is what I ended up with. It's a little more blue than I wanted again, but that's okay. I tore this piece. It got stuck. But there's lots of texture. I think this one's my favorite. I am going to do a little bit of coffee dyeing. I have a little sponge, a little cup of just some coffee left over from this morning. And so I thought that I would just add a little brown, but I didn't want to use paint, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I may end up having to use some paint or some ink. May have to use some ink. We'll see if it soaks in here in a minute. soaking in a little bit. Just need to be patient, right? Still think probably gonna wish that I had just used ink, because now my paper's crinkling up more than what I really wanted. Let's try something. I want a little bit of brown in it, because if you look at the original paper, this one was mostly blue, which, I mean, this is awesome. That's, wow, look at there. That's gonna be cool. But this had some brown in it. So even though I like this texture, I wanted some brown in it. So let's try. I have some Distress ink. Where's my Distress oxide? I have some blendable. Let's try this. Windy Vecchi Make Art Blendable Dye Ink and Potting Soil by Ranger. My mom gave me these. Let's try that out. Grab a coffee filter. So what if is that better? That's a little better. I just used the coffee to kind of wet the brown to get it moving around a little bit. Oh, I like that better. Very cool. I'm just kind of blotting it in places and feather touching it in others. Now I'm kind of rubbing. So is that turning brown or is it turning pink? Let's see what the camera is showing. See that difference? It's hard to see in the camera. Now. Better? Better. I didn't think that vintage photo was going to be the right color, and the other brown that I normally use is done, and I have to order a new one. So, but I like this. It is turning a little bit pink in a couple of places. glue. Yes, I like it. Although I don't like the pink. So, let me try. Although you expect this color, and you get the other color. This is too wet to work on, so I'm gonna let it dry. So that was a bad idea. That's okay. One more. I think it came out pretty close. I think it did. So we're gonna let these dry, and then I'll be back on another video to show you what I do with them. Thanks so much for watching and joining in on my crazy mixed media project. No, I'm no expert, but I do like playing around occasionally, and I really wanted to play around and see if I could get some textured pieces to make some things for the inside of this journal. And I've already got the pages cut, and I just need to start inking and adding some envelopes and some pockets and things like that. So I'll be working on this guy for the next couple of days probably. Thank y'all. Have a good day.